Bruce Lee, the story of his life and untimely death. Bruce Lee, his life and early demise. Bruce Lee is a true legend of cinema. Born on November 27, 1940, he would have been in his 80s now. Sadly, the actor died at a young age. This is the story of his life. Bruce Lee, born in California. Bruce Lee was born on November 27, 1940, in San Francisco's Chinatown. According to the Chinese calendar, his birth coincides with the Year of the Dragon. Its original name was Lee Junfan. The beginnings of Bruce Lee's acting career. At only 2 months old, Bruce Lee appeared for the first time on television. In the series Tears of San Francisco. His parents were active in the local art scene. Bruce Lee's father was an actor and singer in Cantonese opera. Moving to Hong Kong. When he was young, Bruce Lee's family moved to Hong Kong. There he began attending a martial arts school. Bruce Lee's beginnings in martial arts. In Hong Kong, Bruce Lee started practicing Tai Chi with his father. Later, he immersed himself in the Wing Chun style thanks to Master Ip Man, who also taught him some things about philosophy. Bruce Lee's university studies. When he was 18, Bruce Lee returned to the United States to obtain U.S. citizenship. Influenced by his teacher Ip Man, Bruce Lee went to study philosophy at the University of Washington in Seattle. College life. To pay for college, Bruce Lee worked as a kitchen assistant in a Chinese restaurant. Later, he began teaching Kung Fu to his university classmates. Bruce Lee, Kung Fu teacher. As a Kung Fu teacher, Bruce Lee developed his own fighting style, known as Jeet Kune Do, or the way of the interceptor fist. Bruce Lee's wife. During Kung Fu classes, Bruce Lee met Linda Cadwell. They had a long-distance relationship because Bruce Lee had to move to Oakland, California, to continue studying. In 1963, they married, and 2 years later, they had their first child, Brandon Lee. In 1969, their daughter Shannon Lee was born. Bruce Lee School of Martial Arts. In the early 1960s, Bruce Lee decided to create his own martial arts school in Seattle, the Jun Fan Kung Fu Institute. Later, he opened 2 more schools, one in Oakland and one in Los Angeles. Professor Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee had a particular way of teaching martial arts classes. He wanted as few people as possible in his classes, since he felt the classes should be some sort of personal training. Side kicks and push-ups with 2 fingers. In 1964, Bruce Lee participated in a tournament organized by Ed Parker, the founder of Kempo Karate in the United States. In this championship, he surprised the public with his incredible movements. Among these were the push-ups that Bruce did, with only 2 fingers, and the side kicks, with which he could knock down opponents double his weight. Producers got to know Bruce Lee. Among the audience of this championship was television producer William Dozier, who became interested in Lee's skills. From that moment on, Dozier got him some castings and also offered him classes in drama and acting. The Green Hornet. In February 1966, Bruce Lee was hired to play Kato in the series The Green Hornet, in which he acted alongside actor Van Williams. Thanks to this series, Bruce Lee showed the Western world a new wrestling technique. In 1969, he appeared for the first time in an American film, Marlowe, his first failed attempt in Hollywood. In early 1971, Bruce Lee tried to enter the TV industry and proposed the series, The Warrior, to two big producers. They rejected it. Then, Warner Brothers accepted the idea, but not the way Bruce had imagined it. The studio renamed the series Kung Fu and chose actor David Carradine instead of Bruce Lee himself for its main role. Filmography of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee only participated in a total of 5 films during his lifetime. Although they may seem few, with these 5 productions Bruce Lee managed to consolidate his cinematographic career and create a legend around him. Bruce Lee, film director. In 1972, Bruce Lee wrote scripts, co-produced, directed and starred in the film The Way of the Dragon. In this movie, which was shot in Rome, Bruce Lee appeared on stage with Chuck Norris. Enter the Dragon. The last film he shot was Enter the Dragon, which ended 2 weeks before his death. It was released 6 days after his death. Bruce Lee's early demise. On July 20, 1973, Bruce Lee died suddenly at the age of 32. According to the doctors, the death was caused by cerebral edema, caused by an allergic reaction to pain medication. Several conspiracy theories pointed to Bruce Lee's death as murder, perhaps committed by the Chinese mafia triads, or a curse. A massive funeral. His funeral brought together thousands of people who wanted to pay tribute to Bruce Lee. He was buried in Seattle's Lakeview Cemetery, dressed in traditional Chinese costume. 20 years later, his son Brandon Lee would die of a gunshot while shooting a movie. He would be buried next to his father. A real legend. Bruce Lee left a great legacy behind him thanks to his successful films and his philosophy of life. In fact, thanks to $100,000 raised from his fans. A 2.5-meter bronze statue was built in Hong Kong to pay tribute to him. Game of Death. These are the shoes Bruce Lee wore for the movie Game of Death, which he had planned to finish after Enter the Dragon. The movie never completely finished filming, but was eventually shown in cinemas in 1978. The Adidas sneakers have been up for auction. Controversy, once upon a time in Hollywood. When Quentin Tarantino's film came out in 2019. With a small role for Bruce Lee. His daughter Shannon Lee was very angry with Tarantino. She said his portrayal was shallow and made the legend seem like a bully. Bruce Lee's daughter, Shannon Lee. Shannon Lee wants to make sure that many generations remember her father as the sensitive, philosophical man he was. Bruce Lee's philosophy. Bruce Lee not only stood out as an actor and martial arts fighter, but also as a philosopher. He was drawn to the thoughts of philosophers like Hegel or Marx. He practiced self-motivation. Bruce Lee liked to write daily goals and long-term objectives in his personal journal for self-motivation. Among these goals was to be America's first highest-paid Eastern superstar. Philosophy. One of his most famous quotes, "Be water, my friend." Bruce Lee. November 27, 1940, July 20, 1973. Founder of Jeet Kune Do. Your inspiration continues to guide us towards our personal liberation.
Well, that's all, folks.
That's my line.
Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all!
That's all, folks.